Hello, my loves. If you guys can double tap that screen and let me know where you're watching from and how you're feeling, that will help get this pushed out to the FYP. And when we hit about 10 people or so, I'll do my intro and we can start readings. Okay, love. Where did you do that at? Cash App, okay. All right, give me just a few moments and I'm going to give my spiel here in a second, and then I have you written down. You'll be my first paid read. Just a few more people pop on and then we'll get started. Okay. Hi, Rocky. How are you? For those of you who are new to me, I am Johanna Burkhardt. I am a multidimensional channel, teacher, healer, and self-help author. And my mission is to help you to be the change that you want to see so that you can create the reality that you are desiring. And we do that through teaching you how to shift your frequency, to trust your intuition, to open up your extrasensory abilities. And we can do this through session, mentorship, and I also have lots of digital course experiences. When I come on here, I try to do more traditional readings. And so what I'm going to be offering today is one free yes or no per person to those who I feel called to. Please keep in mind that if I don't get an answer when I read your question, it could be for multiple reasons. It could be because it's not going to be of service to you to know the answer, or I'm just not getting a clear yes or no. There's some things that aren't solidified. So it's not personal, and I'm not ignoring you, so there's no need to post your question multiple times. I do offer paid mini reads. Those are a minimum $15 donation. I prefer Cash App or Venmo, but I do also have PayPal. And how that works is I connect to your team of guides. There's no legal questions today, no mediumship, and no medical questions. Your best bet is to ask, if you do a paid mini read, we already have one person on the list, your best bet is to ask whatever question you want to know about, because I'm going to give you more than that. I'm going to give you what else you need to know. If you say a general, you're only going to get whatever comes through, and I'm not going to allow you to ask additional questions. So your best bet is to always go in with a question. If you do donate for a mini read, please let me know that you donated and where you donated, and make sure that your Cash App or Venmo has your first and last name. All right, so we already have one paid read. So before I start going into the free yes or no's, I'm going to prioritize her. Okay, feeling emotional since yesterday, missing mom a lot, and last week was very tense. Yes, I could feel your mom the moment I wrote down your name for your reading. I could feel her. She's very close to you. She's very much with you, my love. This whole last 2 weeks of March and beginning of April is very, very, very impactful, intense energy for everybody. And so surrender, 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 and surrender some more. Okay, so what's your question? Poonam, what's your question? And we will get going on your reading. Okay. So, Poonam, I feel an intense amount of frustration and fight in you. Honestly, it feels like you are in resistance to whatever's happening in your life or whatever you're feeling. There feels like a lot of resistance and a lot of frustration and fighting with whatever you're feeling or whatever is happening is only going to make it more intense. It's only going to make it worse. And so coming back to our original message before I even really fully connected is surrender. Surrender is making the best of whatever's happening. Surrender is recognizing that surrender is the ultimate control. Surrender, when you surrender, you are saying that I know that everything is happening for me and all I have to do is let go and not fight it, and it's going to take me exactly where I need to go. And there's a lot going on inside of you right now. There's a lot of pressure on your ears and your crown because there's a lot of expansion happening in your energy field. You're kind of being expanded and broken open a little bit, and that's usually par for the course when especially when you're in grief. I know my part of my awakening after my grief was very, very intense, but you're going through a frequency shift a lot, along with a whole big giant group of us that are also in that same shift, and your clairaudience and claircognizance is being attuned for you to be more connected, or it's not connected, they're saying that's not the right word. It's attuning you so that you become a better receiver. It's more aware. You're more aware of what you're receiving. Yeah, okay, that's better, they said. You're more aware of what you're receiving and that you're receiving it from your guides, from source, and it's not something that you're making up. So there's this process that you're going under, and it almost feels like a pressure cooker at times for you. So what they want you to know is you're on the path. You just need to surrender. They do make me feel like there has been things kind of placed in your path that you have been discounting. And there are some actions that you need to take. But you're getting there. And whatever's going on right now is showing you limits in the forms of beliefs and programmings that need to be seen, acknowledged, and then a choice made not to replay that story or reinforce that belief once again. Once you're outside of the limiting belief or program, you're no longer bound by it, and now you can choose different. There's no need to dig around it. There's no need to excavate and create a story and dig for the shadow. You don't need to do any of that. You really don't. It's just a matter of acknowledgement, appreciation for what it's teaching you, and then choosing different every time that crossroads comes in front of you again. Does that make sense? Yes, totally. Okay. Are you feeling the intense pressure, or do you have pressure on your ears and crown? Have you been having any headaches or feeling any exhaustion? Or even having frequency move through your ears? If it gets too much, you can ask them to turn it down. That's what I always say. I ask the guides, can you please turn it down? Because sometimes it can be a little overbearing. And so keep that in mind, that you can ask to have it turned down. Very much so. I'm in the middle of a paid read, guys, so if you can just hold off on your free yes or no questions, I will go back and go through some of them once I'm done. But I want to give my attention to her. I feel you just, so yeah, okay, so you are feeling frustrated. Can you tell me what you're frustrated about? Because they just make me feel like whatever is going on in your reality, you're fighting against it instead of flowing with it and allowing it. So obviously there's something about it that you don't like. Because frustration usually comes in when you don't get your way, or your things aren't going in the way that you want them to. Feeling angry when I feel that there is a lot of pressure by family. Okay, so this is what I was trying to get to. Your family, whatever they're doing, I feel what you don't, that's it. Okay, you don't have to do everything. It's a choice that you're making. It's a choice, and I know you probably don't feel like it's a choice, but it is always a choice. And the pressure that you're feeling, that's because you're taking responsibility for what they're trying to give you. And it may upset your family for you to say no. It may upset your family for you to choose you, but this is why it's happening. So can you surrender to the fact that you don't have the capacity to do whatever it is that they're wanting you to do? And even if you do have the capacity, which I don't feel that you do at this time anyway, you don't have to do anything that you don't want to. And if you lose family members or friends because you put up a boundary and said, listen, I can't do all of this, maybe I'll do this and this, but the rest you guys have to figure it out, then they aren't there for you. They shouldn't be in your life, family or not, blood or not, because that's not okay. We should have respect for what people are willing to do and what they're not willing to do. And there's no explanation needed. No is a complete sentence. So this is only gonna get worse for you until you decide to choose you, right? And that is, hi Meredith, that is the surrender piece, right? Surrender is saying, hey, I'm gonna take my hands off the wheel. I'm gonna know that this is happening for me, and I'm gonna ask, what is it that I actually want to do? And if it's not to help, then don't do it, because every time you do, you're abandoning yourself. Every time you do, you're abandoning yourself. And your mom's saying that they'll get over it. So they may be upset in the beginning, but they're going to get over it. But you've got to choose you. Can you do that for me? Can you choose you? Can you take away some of those responsibilities and take that pressure off of yourself? And here's another thing the guides are saying. Anything that's heavy is not yours to carry. Our own baggage, our own stuff that weighs nothing. We don't feel that as weight. But when we're trying to take on other people's stuff, and we're trying to take on other people's responsibilities and beliefs and programmings, it's very heavy. So anything that's heavy is not for you to carry. Okay? So that's what they have for you, my love. And please know that your mom hears everything and sees everything, all through the lens of love. So you're never alone. She's around all of you all at the same time. Okay? I hope that helps. No, my love, because I just got done saying, like, if it's a question about something I've already said, then yes. But if it's a separate question, because that's why I keep telling people, if you have a question, make sure that you ask it, because one question and a general are two different reads. If the question is about anything we've already talked about, then yes, I can clarify something for you if you need me to. Oh, thank you. I love my eyeshadow palette. It's so good. Saying my phone hacked, but I didn't read the whole email. Huh? I'm not sure what that means. It might be not giving me all of the comment. Is there another part of that I'm missing? It's not, I don't see it though, so I don't know. Can you retype and again, I received email in junk and read it accidentally and got scared since it. Now, where's the other part? Okay, there it was. It's coming in so fast, it's hard for me to find your comment. What's the rest of that, hun? Are you saying that you accidentally clicked on an email that was a scam? I received email in junk and read it accidentally and got scared since it. Yeah, no, you're fine. Just because you read it, you're fine. It's not going to do anything. I mean, you didn't give anybody any money or anything, right? I don't feel like you did that. Yeah, you're fine, love. Okay, good. You're good. You're good. Okay. Thank you always for trusting me with your energy. And again, just remember that you're loved. Okay? Choose you. Choose you. All right. I'm going to scroll back a little bit. Well, you know what? I'm just going to start from here because you guys keep posting the same questions over and over again. So I'm just going to start from the beginning. Becky, will I get my house this year? Next. It'll be next. Will I have committed love soon? Yes. I would suggest doing a little bit more work on yourself and really looking at the kind of people that you have attracted and what that's showing you. Okay, just so I'm going to be clear about, because I get a lot of these questions about relationships. If you're asking me how another person thinks, feels, or if they want you back, I'm not going to answer those. I do not have permission to tap into their energy. I am not a reader that is out of integrity. If I don't have their permission, I'm not going to read them. Now, in some instances, I can see it from your perspective. If you guys end up back together, or if I see a timeline where you both are in it, then that's different. And so sometimes I can answer them, but just so you're aware, I'm not going to answer those questions. If you're confused in any way about how somebody feels, they are not for you. Hear me when I say that. If you are pining for someone, wanting them to love you, wanting them to choose you, that is a nervous system response from a childhood wound and is not your soulmate. It's a karmic relationship trying to get you to choose you. And I will repeat that numerous times on this live because I get so many of those questions. And I want you, with love, to choose you and to love you more than wanting to know if you're on some man's mind. Because if you were, he would let you know. And if he is and he's still not letting you know, that's not the person for you. Okay? Vicky, will I get a home soon? Yes. Zoe, I don't see any delays for you, honey. I think it will be just fine. Will my inheritance be over 200,000 and will I receive it before September? I cannot confirm the number, but yes, you will have it before September. Amy, is my teaching position secure for next school year? Yes. Are you considering teaching a different grade? You're welcome, Zoe. Sarah, will me and Eric get back together? I actually think that you might. I feel like whatever was going on with you, there was a miscommunication. So communication might be something you work on. And you may start as friends. I see it. If you do get back together, there is a timeline for that. It's slow. So go slow and take it one day at a time. Michelle, will I get disability? Yes. When? I'm not sure. Alice, will I lose my house? That is not a clear yes or no. They make me feel like it's leaning more towards no, but there's something that is not solid for me in that. So take it with a grain of salt. I understand, Amy. Is John and I relationship over? Yes, hun. Let go, move on. Love yourself through it. Will Omar and I be in a relationship by the end of this year? No, I do not see that. TT, you've commented this comment like 1,000 times. I don't know what you're asking. Please be more specific. If you guys want, remember it's 1 yes or no, and 2 is please be very specific about your question. The more, because these are very quick connects. So the more specific you can be, the better. Elizabeth, I don't see an engagement, but I do see you guys together, so it might not be as fast as you want it to be. I do not answer cheating questions. If you feel like someone's cheating on you, that is a responsibility for you to sit down and have a conversation with emotional maturity about how you feel and how things are coming across in your eyes. From my perception, this is how I see things and feel things, and it doesn't feel good to me, and I would really love to sit down and have an honest conversation and have some clarity. This is what we need to get to, guys, okay? We need to get to that space in our life where we can do that. Diana, will I find a job next month? Yes. Will Thomas divorce me? I do see you guys splitting. Who divorces who, it doesn't really matter. And I think it's a good thing. So I think it's a good thing for both of you. You're welcome, Liz. Will I communicate with Nick next week? What are you in inner conflict about? I don't have a solid yes or no, but you're in some type of inner conflict, so you need to resolve that. And that tells me that there's confusion there, or again, something that there's contradictory beliefs, so it's already not starting off on a good foot. If he's cold and distant, Sammy, he's not for you. Choose you, love yourself more. You don't need to be chosen by a man-child. Ashley, will my finances improve significantly soon? Over the next 6 months, you are going to see an increase in finances. I don't know what significantly means to you, but I do see an increase in finances that's tied to a new opportunity. I do not answer questions about how someone is feeling, how they're thinking, what they're doing, if they are thinking about you, if they're missing you. I don't have permission to read them. Ashley, will I get divorced this year? There's conflict around that too. If you're already thinking about the divorce, there's a contradictory in beliefs. So there's a tug of war going on inside of you. So there is no solid yes or no. If I look way down your future, I feel like it's a yes. But I need you to know that there's an inner conflict there, and you need to get to the bottom of that, because you're obviously not happy if you are even contemplating, is this going to happen? Again, sit down, honest, mature, emotionally mature conversation. Get clear about what you guys both, what your needs are, how you've changed, and see if you guys can make that work. And if you can't, then agree to disagree and go on with your lives. Joy, is Gabriel a great match for me? Actually, I think you guys would be a good match. The energy feels good when I put your names together. Megan, yes, you will have what we would consider a long-term relationship. I feel like you two have a lot to learn from each other. Is Abruzzo, Italy, a good place to visit? Yes, Julie, if that's what you want to go, hun. You know what's so funny, Julie, Julie is a private mentor student. Since we talked about your Italy trip, I keep getting Italy videos on my TikTok about people buying villas. Isn't that funny? Brittany, oh, where did it go? Will I be getting new property in the next month? You are going to be getting new property. It might be a little bit longer than a month, but it is coming. Will I be in the same job at the end of this year? No. I feel like you can if you want to, but I feel like there's another opportunity coming for you. Remember, if I'm not answering your question, it's either it's not healthy for you to know, or there's just not a clear yes or no, because there's contradictory beliefs and energies going inside of you, which kind of, it creates, it's a mess in your energy field. So if I'm not answering you, it's not because I'm ignoring you, all right? Or it might be one of the questions that I'm just not going to answer because I've said it a million times. Will my finances increase soon? Yes, probably more towards the end of the year. Anna, I don't think you're going to get the job at the bank. I actually don't think that that's a good fit for you. It doesn't feel like it would be a good fit for you. Think outside the box. There's something else that lights you up. Once again, I will not answer questions about people. If you're asking me how someone else thinks, feels, what their actions are, I don't have permission to speak to them. I don't have permission to tap into their energy, and I'm not going to do that. That's out of integrity. Tori, will I be successful in my new position? Yes. They're saying something about leadership, though, so I don't know how that applies. I don't know if you're taking a leadership role or that you need to show up as a leader. Take that for what you want with these quick connects. Lori, will I be getting a better job? You know what's interesting? When I read that question, I actually feel like no, but it's because there's something that there's going to be an opportunity for you to do something on your own. So if you're thinking about doing that, here's your confirmation. Where did it go? You are a leader? Okay, cool. Somebody posted something and I'm trying to find it. I can't find the comment, but someone asked about paid readings. There is a link in my bio. It's called the tip jar. And it's a minimum $15 donation. And once you donate for a mini read, all you have to do is let me know that you donated and where, and make sure it has your first and last name. And then I can prioritize you and have you ask your question. You're very welcome, Lori. Send money to your chip jar. Okay, so you did send money there? Let's see if I can find it. Be sure to follow me, guys, on YouTube, because next week I'm gonna go over there too to do readings. I've had a lot of requests to go on YouTube because I post these replays on YouTube, and so I've had so many people like, please do them on YouTube. So I'm gonna do them over there as well and split up my time. I don't see any new, it might be just slow coming in. If anybody has donated, I haven't seen anything new come in. I think it was Brittany who said it. Sophia. No. Will Jeremy and I ever be together? No. I do want to say it's coming in, so because it's right here, I'm not going to hold it back. There is someone much better aligned for you. So remember, there's this saying that's like, the longer you choose, longer you entertain what's not for you, the longer it takes for what is for you to come into your reality. So if you can let that go, there's somebody better who's going to be right around the corner. Sometimes we get tested. Okay, Brittany, that was you. Did you already donate, hun? Because I haven't seen anything yet. And sometimes it's been slow with this Mercury retrograde. It's been very retrograde-y. Oh, here it comes. I see it now. It came into Venmo. It's just slow. Okay, I'm going to prioritize Brittany right now, and then I will come back and do some more. So if you guys want to hold off on your free yes or no's for just a moment. Brittany, do you want to go ahead and ask your question? So I'm going to say this again. When you do a mini read, if there's something you're going to want to know, ask the question. I will still give you more of whatever the guides also want you to know. But if you say general, that's it. Whatever comes out is what comes out. And there's no more questions unless it's to clarify something I've already said. So if you have a specific question, please start with that. But you can go ahead and drop it, and we'll get started on your reading, my love. Okay. Someone asked this, so before Deborah, will I get remarried? Yes. It's a few years down the line, though. All right, so I'm going to prioritize Brittany right now. If you guys can hold off, that would be amazing to hold space for her. So, Brittany, I'm not sure what's going on in your reality, but they keep, I keep getting this visual of you like walking and hitting a wall, and walking and hitting a wall, and walking and hitting a wall. And what that's trying to show me is like you keep repeating the same pattern and hitting the same block, the same limiting belief, the same program. Each time it might be dressed a little bit differently, it might have a little bit different characters, but they just keep like, she's like stuck in this loop, stuck in this loop, stuck in this loop. And there's a lot of real, I almost have nausea. Like there's a lot coming up in your sacral and solar plexus. This is a lot of ancestral wounds, patterns, beliefs, and programs. There can be some childhood stuff mixed up in that, but they make me feel like there's been a lot that's kind of over the past month, maybe even longer, but it's this right now, it's the intense part of this, but it feels like it's just been kind of coming up, and this energy of kind of you pushing it back down, like there's this tug of war in between it, like you just need to feel it. You don't, because I feel like some of this stuff doesn't even make sense, and you're like trying to dig around it or trying to find a story around it, and they're like, no, this is ancestral stuff. And so a lot of times you just have to feel whatever it is, and like this is what this feels like, or lay down, relax your body, and allow yourself to go through the waves of emotion or energy, or just not feeling well, even, because I feel like that can happen as well when you're purging ancestral stuff. And just to ride the wave, because at the end of the day, when you get through this, you're going to feel very light and very energized and a lot clearer than you are right now. But I need you to look at the patterns showing up in your life over the last 6 months, and then going back even further and be like, what is something that I continuously experience, and how is creating that serving me? Because it is serving you, right? Everything that happens in our life is serving us. It's for us, because the universe only knows yes. So why are you creating this? What is the belief you need to see? I think there's actually multiple beliefs that are limiting your being and keeping you stuck in this cycle. But they make me feel like it's a hamster wheel. And so they really want you to get off the hamster wheel. They want you to be free, but they're like, she's the one that keeps reinforcing the old beliefs over and over again. I also feel like you're going through and maybe experiencing some ascension symptoms. So sometimes that can feel like a dull headache or a light fever, even though you're not technically have a fever, feeling kind of ungrounded, spacey. You are moving into a new frequencies. The frequencies that are coming in are affecting you. They're hitting density, but it's also kind of making you a little bit spacey and a little bit out of it. or I'm just ungrounded in general. So kind of notice that and be aware and do things that help you ground. And when I say ground, that means to be present. So we're not in our head, we are in the moment. What's showing up right now in this moment, and what is it that I need to do with this? Is this something I need to work on right now? Is this showing up for me to do, to appreciate, to choose, whatever? If you can just focus on what's showing up in front of you, and if what's showing up in front of you is to make a plan for the future, then fine. But for everything else, it's like, don't quit going into the future, quit looking at the past. Those are all just the same now moment, looked at from a different point of perception anyway. So when you can understand that, you can just choose to be in this now moment. This version of you is new, right? It's not the same version you were yesterday or 6 months ago or 5 years ago or when you were a child. These are all different versions. We're constantly moving through timelines. And so it's an illusion and an ego trap that we're stuck and that we have to keep doing these things and things have to be hard. It doesn't. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be challenging. That's what I'm having trouble with. Okay, what part of that? Hi Tanya. What part of that are you having trouble with? I'm sorry, when I channel, I'm not paying attention to when you comment in the moment. And this is something that this is like my favorite kind of work and session, because then we can, if I need to ask certain questions to help you find the beliefs, I can. Ooh, wings, that was cool. Thank you. I'm trying to make my body feel safe again, release trauma. Okay. So let me give you a technique for that. One technique that I have used, and I don't know how long you've been following me, but I have had quite the journey over the last 5 years. So I was a nomad for 2.5 years, and I had no home, essentially, like that's mine, right? I stayed in homes, but I didn't have a home that was personally mine. I had to get rid of majority of my stuff, except for what could fit in my car. And at the time that I began this, I had little to no money. What I will tell you is, I lost my, because that's a complete uncertainty, right? That's facing all of your survival fears. Having a structure creates an inner sense of stability that your body can predict things happening, right? So predictability creates a sense of safety. So I'm going to give you an example. I wake up every morning. This is just mine. You don't have to take this on, okay? You have to figure out what works for you. But I wake up every morning, I journal, I meditate, and I get up, I have my lemon water, and then I make my mud water, right? This is something I do every morning. 4 days a week minimum, I go to the gym or I work out. And I have an energetic minimum. So if I'm having a bad day, 10 minutes is my energetic minimum, right? At night, I have a skincare routine. My energetic minimum is to just take my makeup off. So you need to figure out points in the morning, something to do in the morning, something to do midday, and something to do in the evening that you do every single day that creates a sense of predictability, something the body can count on happening. This takes a little bit of time, but once your body starts to see that, it starts to create safety because it can predict something. And that's why oftentimes we end up reinforcing old patterns and beliefs, is because they're familiar, and we can predict what's going to happen, even if it's not to our benefit, right? Even if it's crazy to say that because everything's to your benefit, but even if it's not serving you, it's still predictable, and that's why you choose it. So if you can create more predictability in your life, it's going to help you to do that. The other things that you can do to create safety in your body is self-touch. So when you are triggered, when your body's not feeling safe, crossing your arms, rubbing yourself real nice and slow, like this. You can do some tapping like this. You can close your eyes and think of a memory that made you feel safe and filled with joy or happy or loved. I have a great free meditation on my website, on my YouTube, called Deep Surrender. That is a really good one to help you if you're wanting to feel safe, floating in water, getting out into nature, slowing down. So they make me feel like that you are a little bit hair on fire, if you will, with things sometimes. So slowing down and being more present, as we started and we already said, is going to be super helpful for you because you tend to get overwhelmed very easily. So these are all things, tangible things. And again, this will go up on my YouTube, so you can go back and re-listen if you need to. But these are all tangible things that you can put into place that have helped someone like me, who is dealing with an immense amount of uncertainty and trauma from every kind of abuse, feel safe in her body. And I feel so safe in my body now more than I ever have before. Yeah, see, Tanya, my best friend Tanya from Harmonia Tarot's on her. Hers is taking a shower. So you have to find the things that help you. So what makes you feel safe, right? I just gave you some tips and techniques that I like to use and that I give my clients. I have 2 courses that I'm going to recommend for you. One is called Heal. It's absolutely free. It's linked in my bio. It's a course in radical forgiveness and self-love. I feel like there's tips and tricks in there that will be very helpful for you working through your trauma, number 1. Number 2, there is a very affordable, I think it's $11, course called Becoming Your Best Self. Highly recommend that because that's going to give you the exact framework to creating a structure to become the version of you that you want. And that's one who's at peace and who feels safe. So those are 2 suggestions that I have for you that are super low maintenance, affordable, that would give you more resources than I'm going to be able to give you in this short mini read. But they want to acknowledge that there's nothing wrong with you. I don't know if you feel that there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. They want you to love you so much right now because they see the suffering that you are experiencing, which shows that there's an attachment to something and the fear. Oh, that's the other thing. They're bringing me back to that. Do me a favor, because I don't know what the fears are, but I can feel your upper back molars. And we hold most of our fears in our teeth. And so if you can Google what fears are stored in what teeth and go to your upper back molars and see what resonates, because they keep lighting these up for me. So I feel like part of the reason why you keep repeating this pattern and you're stuck in whatever this is that's keeping your nervous system dysregulated has a lot to do with these fears that we were talking about that are kind of more ancestral in nature. So really do that, because if you can Google that and see what hits, I feel like it's going to open up some eyes for you. Oh, thank you, Tanya. Yeah, I have a lot of content on my YouTube. I booked a reading on Wednesday, but forgot I have a doctor's appointment. Yeah, so go to the, Poonam, if you go to your email confirmation, go down to the bottom, it should say reschedule. You're so welcome, Brittany. I'm wrapping you in love. Know that your guides and loved ones and ancestors are always with you, and they are there. They do send you love and try to help you. And you're doing a good job. There's nothing wrong with you. I just want you to love yourself through this. Like, my modality is the purification process. The stage 4 is tattooed on my arm. Step 4, I love you anyway. Whatever is coming up, love that, because that little girl inside you who's scared to death, she just wants to be held and accepted and loved, even though she's frightened, even though she's confused, even though she feels stuck. So if you can just start simply there with the acceptance of how you feel, that will step you forward. But if you can use some of the techniques that I use, that Tanya shared, or the resources that we've shared, I think you will have some progress forward, okay? So do you have any questions about anything that we've already said that I can clarify for you? Oh, Gabby, I'm so glad you heard that. And that happens a lot. See, people get drawn to these lives, and sometimes they're not the one that even gets the reading. They're kind of observing from the background, but the guides know, right? I set a very specific intention to call people here. And so it's going to call whoever needs to hear. It's not always about you needing to get a reading from me. Maybe you just needed to hear someone else's reading, and that's going to be the answer that you needed. So we call that piggybacking. But I'm glad you're here for that. Okay, good. Well, that's what we have for you, Brittany. Again, I'm sending you so much love. You can do this. You got this. I promise you. Okay. Do we have any other donated mini reads before I go back to doing some frees? Free yes or no's? Will I be moving next week into my new home? It feels like a little longer than a week. It could be. It just feels like it might be a little bit longer. If you're asking me, ooh, that's so cool. Thank you for the swan. Remember, guys, if you're asking me how someone else is thinking, feeling, or what actions they're taking, I don't have permission to read their energy. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to tap into someone who has not given me permission. But I will tell you, if you are pining over someone, if they're not reaching out, if they're not talking to you, if they're not making an effort, they're not for you. Love yourself more. Choose yourself. Have respect for yourself. Let them go. Okay? Let them go. Will I have a good birthday next week? The guides kind of laughed at that one. Do you struggle with birthdays, Gabby? They said it's going to be what you make it. So if you choose to celebrate yourself and really appreciate yourself, then yes. Birthdays tend to be a sore space for people sometimes. Is my relationship really over now? Yes. Love you too. Thanks for hopping on. If you guys like tarot, please follow Harmonia Tarot. She's in the thread. She does a ton of tarot reads all the time on her channel and on her YouTube. Will the apartment I want for me and the kids work out? I don't know why. I just feel like you're gonna get a house. So I don't know if that means after the apartment, but when I read your question, I heard no house. So I feel like there's gonna be a house. Donna, I don't get a clear yes or no on that, hun. But don't let it be a, if you don't get it, don't let it be a downer for you. You're doing a great job. Will I like this new job? I think this new job, Kimberly, is much more aligned for you. But really look at your expectations, okay? That will be very helpful. Look at what you're expecting, because I feel like that's where you might get into some trouble. Joe, will I see D again? Yes. You're welcome, Kimberly. How are you guys all feeling? The energy this weekend, this whole week, next week, a little bit into the first week of April is wildly intense. So how are you guys all feeling? Becky, I'm just going to tell you what I heard when I read your question. It says, hi, should I give up my romantic relationship with Raphael? The exact words I heard was, is this a trick question? So you have some type of inner conflict going on that you need to resolve. Hi, Charlie Brown girl. Will I receive a settlement offer next week? You are going to get a settlement offer. Timing, I don't have clarity on. It's been really hectic. Yes, I can. Slowing down is helpful for that. I know it doesn't make sense all the time to slow down, but I promise you, slowing down can make you go faster. Will I pass my theory test the first time? Yes. Quit being so hard on yourself, Allison. Stop holding yourself to some crazy standard. Looking for a new with more money. I mean like a new job, Kim? Okay, guys, if you thinks, feels, actions, and and they're not on here, I don't have permission to read their energy, so I'm not going to answer that question. Let me go back. Where did they go? Kim, yes. I keep hearing get creative. Get creative. I don't know if you're applying to something that's familiar or that you think is easy, but they're saying that there's to be more creative in your approach to what you're looking for. Lauren, I do not see him in your future. Natalie, yes. Kiara, will I get my paid PTO since I resigned? Yes, but I feel like it's going to be, it's not going to come easy. But stay with it. You'll get it. Charlie Brown girl, Christy. I don't tap into people's energies that are not on here. That's not something that I do. That to me is not an integrity because they're not giving me permission. So I didn't answer the question. Lulu, do me and Mark have a future? Yes, there is a timeline for that. Yes. Jocelyn, that's not a yes or no question, love. Crystal, no. Does my mother have ill intentions towards me? Once again, I will not answer questions with people on here that you're asking me to tap into someone's energy who has not given me permission to. Chuck, should I leave Amy? If you're questioning that, that already tells me that something's not in alignment and you already know the answer. You're just asking for permission. So if that's what you want to do, you have permission to do so. I do feel like you guys have learned all that you can learn from each other. Oh, good, Becky. Natalie, yes. Christy, Charlie Brown's girl, will I ever forgive them? You will. When you get tired of holding on to their baggage. When you don't forgive someone, you're holding responsibility for their actions. I want you to hear that back because they're saying, say it again, because I needed to hear it myself. When you hold on and you don't forgive, you are taking responsibility for someone else's actions. When you forgive, you're giving responsibility back to them because what they did has nothing to do with you. And how it affected you is your job to heal it and love yourself through it. But you don't, forgiveness is giving their responsibility back to them. It's not on you. Thank you for the shamrocks. Heal, my course in radical forgiveness and self-love. It's absolutely free, my love. Be a great place for you to start. It's linked in my bio. Any advice on how to stay strong during hard times? Yes, surrender. Make the very best of whatever you have currently and appreciate the shit out of anything you have currently. I know that sounds very simplistic, but some of the best stories I've heard from people, from clients, and just people that I've experienced throughout my life is those moments of like, we were so poor and I couldn't, like, mom and dad couldn't pay the light bill, but it was like the funnest couple of days of my life because we built forts and we had lanterns and blah, blah, blah. They made it into an adventure. So whatever's happening in your life that's uncertain, that's causing you pain and anguish, if you can see it as an opportunity to learn something, if you can see it as an opportunity to practice surrender and making the best of it and making an adventure out of it, when you can ask yourself, how is creating this serving me, and get really clear on it, your current circumstances that you see in your physical reality are based upon the accepted past beliefs. So what did you believe or have to believe to create the reality that you have now? And what would you have to believe to create the reality that you want? That's the magic right there. And it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. If you can answer those few questions that I said, you can gain clarity. The hard part then comes applying it consistently. So every morning when I wake up, my eyes open, I lay in my bed while I'm nice and warm and cozy. You know, those first 10 minutes when you're waking up, you're like, oh, I don't want to move. I feel so cozy. I feel so comfortable. And I just lay there and I visualize and I have gratitude for what I want to have happen in my life as if it's already happened. And then I also have gratitude and appreciation for, I'm like, oh, I'm so appreciative of this warm, cozy bed. I'm so appreciative of this. I'm so grateful for this. And it's just a great way to start the day. And as someone who has experienced like insane hard times in her life, meaning me, I'm the poster child for that. It's a matter of, you have to see it as an adventure. You have to see it as through a different lens of perception, that what's happening is an opportunity. It's not a problem. And anyway, wherever there's a problem, there's also simultaneously a solution. We live in a dualistic plane still. So as long as that's the case, even when they won't, they will still both be there, right? So there's a problem, there's always a solution. Most of the time we're seeking. You can't receive and seek at the same time. So you have to surrender and open up to receive what's next. But I feel like when we fight with what is just gets worse and worse. So that's my recommendation for you. You're very welcome. Maria, will I find a job soon? Yes. I feel like it's coming in the next couple of months. Cindy, if you do, it's not going to be in the way that you want to. It's time to just move on, hun. Only Olivia, you're very welcome. Will me and Bree get back together? No. You're welcome, Maria. Anika, will my spouse and I reconcile? This is interesting because the moment I read it, I see you guys sitting at a table. So at the very least, I feel like you're going to sit down and have some types of conversations. But I think what you're going to end up discovering is that you aren't a good fit. So I'm going to say no, but I mean, at the end of the day, you have free will of what you choose. But I feel like I see you guys sitting at a table. So I feel like you're going to have a conversation about it at least. There's going to be a consideration. Morgan, if you're meeting your soulmate, no, you have not met them yet. Well, not the one that you want as a romantic partner. You have other soulmates. We have 7 soulmates, and most of the time, majority of our soulmates are not romantic, but we will have a few that are. Thank you for the heart. Will Austin and I move in together soon? I'm not sure what soon means for you, but yes, I do see you guys living together. Sophia. No, honey. Emily, Anne, I don't get an answer when I read your question. So it's either it's not going to serve you to know right now, or there's things that aren't concrete that have been decided. But I will tell you that you got to start focusing on what you want to happen, and to know that if you do, it means that there's something better for you. So don't stress out about it. Surrender. Allow the path to unfold to your highest, okay? Michelle, my mom, Jolie, recently passed. Is she around me? Yes. They're always around us, loves. Always, always. They always see us. They always hear us. They're always there when we need them, even if we don't physically feel them or hear them. But yes, they are around. And if you're really present, you will sense when they're around. Patrick, will I be able to keep my house? Yes. Though I say that, but it feels like, I don't know if you're meaning like from foreclosure, but I do feel like down the road you're going to sell it. But it feels like more of a conscious choice. Maria, yes. Though, Maria, I'm going to give you this just because it's coming in. I feel like you're also going to buy some land. So, but I don't feel like that's coming until maybe next year. Am I getting my live access back this year? Yes, Meredith, you'll get it back. Did they take it away from you? What the heck is that about? Will Troy and I ever talk again? From my perspective, I'm going to say no. $5 years? I feel like there's some type of misunderstanding. That's how it comes across. Like there's some kind of misunderstanding. There's something that can be cleared up. I'm not sure how, but that's what I'm getting. If you guys are asking me how someone thinks about you, feels about you, what actions they're going to take towards you, again, I don't have permission to read their energy. I'm not going to do that. Louis, will I find a job soon? It's going to be a little bit later down the line. It's not going to be super soon. Not the one that you really want anyway. You might find an interim one, but the one that you're really wanting is going to be a little bit down. Is it TikTok, Meredith, or is it Facebook? Where are you talking about the live access? I just feel like there's a misunderstanding. Will things go well with Kevin? Yes. Thank you for the heart. Okay, if I'm not answering your question, I'm not getting a clear yes or no, and I'm not going to make up an answer, or it's not in your benefit to know. Sometimes knowing things can screw it all up. I've seen it happen. I've experienced myself. So I'm not being mean. I'm not ignoring you. It's just the way it is. Jamming with roses. I saw one. Where did it go? I need to stop shrugging my shoulders and sit upright. Hey, Bradley, thank you for the gift. Good to see you. Heather, will I be offered a job interview for the job I want this coming week? Yes. Prepare yourself for questions, but have questions for them. Does that make sense? That's what they're really wanting to convey to you. Like, don't just see it as someone interviewing you. When that happens, I want you to also interview them, okay? You have to come in from the space of I'm the commodity. I'm the one that it's not will you pick me, it's will I choose you kind of attitude. If you follow what I'm saying. You're very welcome, Heather. If you're wanting to know how someone feels about you, if they're thinking about you, are they going to take you back, want you back? I want you to just listen to your question, because I want you to pick you. I want you to choose you. I want you to love yourself more. I want you to see that if they had the capacity to love you and show up for you and desire to be with you, they would. It doesn't always mean, it's not always if they wanted to, they would. Sometimes they want to, but they don't have the capacity to. So if you're confused about your relationship, if you're confused about how they feel, it's not for you. It is not for you. It is not for you. It's not a soulmate. It's a karmic. It is something that is deeply embedded in your nervous system, and it's coming into your life to help you heal from a childhood trauma or childhood parent thing. So choose you, love you, know that there's something better for you, and you won't be confused when it happens. Been single for 4 years, celibate for 3. That's impressive. Celibate for 3. See, for men, it's different for women. When men are celibate and they withhold, it's more powerful it's a more powerful sacral activation. It's not the same for women, but that's impressive. Good for you. In loud places, I'm deaf. LOL, it's a break, I can imagine. And just a reminder, you guys, if you are looking to get help with healing, I do have a free course on my website and linked in my bio called Heal, A Course in Radical Forgiveness and Self-Love. It's a 6-module course. It's one of the first courses I ever created. Not the first, but one of the first. And I have chosen to make it free to be of service to you guys. Very helpful. If you're guided to that, please, by all means, utilize that resource. And then if you've never had a session with me, I do offer a first-time client rate for my Quantum Soul sessions. It is 60 minutes recorded on Zoom with me. So if you are struggling with limiting beliefs, you feel stuck in your life, you don't know what your gifts are, you need to trust your intuition more, you need some help navigating, out of whatever situation you're in, just guidance from your guides, those types of things, please know that I have brought that back. It's something that was very popular last year, and so I decided to bring it back again. And that, again, is also linked in my bio under sessions. And then I have a very vast YouTube channel, also where these will go once the live is rendered. Usually takes me I'm always about 48 hours behind on getting them up. So if you did have a reading today or you found some type of information on here useful, know that you can go back and re-listen. And thank you guys for the gifts. They're very much appreciated. Nicole, will Eric and I fix our marriage? The potential is there. So many people are at this space right now. It's unreal how many people come to me with this one. You really have to be super honest about who you have become, because we evolve as people. So there just needs to be a sit down and say, like, hey, what are your needs? These are my needs. This is what, this is who I am now. This is what I want in our marriage and what I want in myself and what I want in a partner. I'd like to hear what yours is, and see if you are still in a space that you are in alignment with each other. It doesn't have to be such a big to do. It can be just a very neutral, emotionally intimate conversation where you just are real with each other. And if you are able to meet each other's needs and you can show up for each other in that way and you still choose each other, then yes. But both parties have to be willing. And I don't know if he's willing, but it's definitely worth the sit down. So it feels like you really want this marriage to work. And so that's going to be your best effort. But it really has to come from a place of ownership and a place of, hey, like, this is who I am now. This is what I value in a relationship now. These are what my needs are now. This is what I want in a partner now. Is this something that you can do? And I'd also like to know what your stance is, and just be real with each other. You're welcome. And I'm sending you a lot of love, because ending a marriage is a hard decision. But to get away from the societal programming that means something's wrong with you or bad. It doesn't. We were never meant to have the same partner this whole time. That's a societal belief. Indoctrinating you to believe that there's something wrong with you. I've been married 3 times. I'll probably get married again. There's nothing wrong with it. Every partner served me until they didn't. Sophia, will Charles and I reconcile? No. Jessica, will Chris and I reconcile? No. I don't know, because I don't have permission to read Scott. Ooh, it's getting hot up in here. My daughter go to school in New Jersey. I don't have permission to read her energy, but from what I'm hearing from the guides, it feels like she has not made a decision, because there's another option she's considering. Sarah, I literally heard when I read your comment, should James and I be together? That's up to you. It's up to you, because it's coming to that person's, you're drawn to that person because they have lessons to teach you. They have something to mirror back to you. So that's up to you. And even if it's not the kind of relationship that you want, or interaction, whatever interaction you have is mirroring something back to you. And if you can see it from that perspective, you will gain what you need to know, and you'll be able to shift. If you're already asking if you should leave somebody, you're not asking if it's the right or wrong thing to do. You're asking for permission. So permission granted. If you want to do that, there's obviously something no longer in alignment for you. So if you can get clear, again, previous advice I've given to other people, if you can get clear on what the issues are, and you give at least that person the opportunity to address those things and see if they can meet your needs, then you might have a chance. But usually with women, especially if you're already considering leaving, you're already halfway out the door, honey. Kiara, the guides are saying, yes, he's okay. Marissa, I feel like you guys might try. It looks like a short interaction. I don't think that it's going to be long term though. Please don't ask the same question a bunch of times, especially if I'm not in the middle of a reading. If I'm not answering you, it's either not in alignment for you to know, it's not going to benefit you to know, or there's not a clear yes or no. And any reader on here who is giving every single person a yes or no, please be wary of that. That's not how they work. That's not how the guides work. You're welcome, Marissa. Someone asked how I am. I'm good. I'm a little tired today, but I feel good. The energy is super intense, so I'm a little floaty, but it's great for channeling. Am I going to get into Yale? Yes. I feel like you are going to have such an amazing college experience. Please be present for it. If you're asking me if what someone is doing, thinking, or feeling that is not on this live, giving me permission to read their energy, I am not going to answer that question. Thank you for sharing the live. It's so appreciated. And please only one yes or no per person, please. Yeah, and again, exactly, Meredith. A lot of times the guides have me redirect back to the person with some of these questions because that's what's going to serve them to hear and not the answer. It's not what everybody wants, and I'm okay with that. Okay, will I find love soon? Yes. Be patient with yourself. And start dating yourself, Kay. Start doing things that you love without a partner. Will I meet my life partner soon? I'm feeling next year sometime. Will I be in a relationship this year? Not a long-term one. I feel like you might date, but I don't see a long-term one. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. Carissa, is he the one? No, ma'am. You will know, when I say the one, to me that's a soulmate. When you find your soulmate, when you're with them, you will feel complete. There will never be confusion. There will be peace, homeostasis, peace, that type of energy. It won't be super inconsistent. It'll be very consistent. It'll be very stable. You will feel very safe. There will be no nervous system highs and lows. You will be mirrors for each other. You will be able to sit in silence with each other. It's not as exhilarating and exciting as people make it out to be. The exciting part is the peace that it brings. So that is your sign of a soulmate healthy love, okay? If I haven't answered your question, please don't keep posting it. Again, I'm not getting an answer for you. It's because it's not in your benefit to know the answer, and or it's just not a clear yes or no. So when I read your question, if they give me information, I will give it to you. Oh, it blocked some of your comments, Meredith. What's the difference between a soulmate and a twin flame? So a twin flame is it's a freaking thing that somebody made up. We can have twin flame is a karmic relationship, and we can have and do have multiple karmics, because it's somebody that's mirroring yourself back to you for an opportunity for you to transmute what is no longer serving you, hence the violet flame or the twin flame, right? It's a mirror. So a karmic relationship is a relationship you called in based upon cause and effect. You're the cause. However you're emanating, whatever your beliefs are, wherever you are, that's going to be, the effect is going to be mirrored back to you. Whereas soulmate is what I just explained a few minutes ago. And there's nothing wrong with karmic relationships. And karmics can have very long, healthy marriages if they both parties choose to do the work. That's very possible. So there really is no right or wrong here. You don't have to find your soulmate. It's not like that type of thing. You're soulmates, right? You're eternal, infinite beings. So your soulmate is your soulmate. But there's nothing wrong with karmic relationships. But you got to remember that romantic relationships are our biggest teachers. Friendships, family relationships, great teachers too, but romantic relationships are our best because they're more intimate than any other relationship. And so even if it's karmic and it's not your soulmate, it still has value. And once you receive that value and you no longer need that and they're no longer in alignment with you, you can let them go. But the whole twin flame thing, it's just something they made up. One-on-one. Will the change I'm looking for come soon? Yes, when you be the change that you're looking for. So within, so without. As within, so without. So whatever change you're looking for, if that change was already here, what would you believe? How would you respond? What behaviors would you do? How would you live your life? You need to do those things, those internal things now. To confuse people. Fun fact, humming will help you reset your frequency. Oh my God, that's so funny. So funny. Okay, I'm going to be on for just a little bit longer, so if anybody wants to do a paid mini read from your guides and ask a question, now would be the time to book that. They are $15 minimum donation through Cash App or Venmo preferred. Will I be living abroad soon? You're definitely gonna go abroad. As far as living there, that I don't get a yes or no from. Yes, there's one free yes or no per person. But once again, if you ask your question and I don't answer you, it's because I either don't have an answer for you, like I'm not hearing one, or it's not in your benefit to receive that answer. It can actually hurt you sometimes to know your future. Oh, thank you, Meredith. Appreciate you. So if I'm not answering your question, pick a different question. Maybe I'll answer that one. Quinta, you should definitely forgive him, but no, you should not be with him. Will I find a new job? Yes. For whatever reason, I keep hearing LinkedIn. So can you search on LinkedIn? Allison. So I don't have permission to read his energy, but here's what I'm going to tell you. You have to trust your intuition. You have to sit down and talk about what it would look like. Like you need to sit down and put some boundaries down. You need to sit down and have some real honest, like intimate, truthful, neutral conversation, like emotionally mature conversation. Again, same thing I've been telling anybody else who's wanting to reconcile, right? Or wanting to make their relationship work or get back together. Sit down and without a ton of emotion, just be like, this is what my needs are. This is who I am now. This is what I desire to have in a partner now. It has nothing to do with them. It's you saying, me, me, me. This is what I want. This is what I need. This is what I prefer. Is this something that you are willing to do or you have the capacity to do? And then you have to give them the same effort. What is it that you want? Who are you now? What expectations do you have, of me? What are your needs? Am I? And then think to yourself, can I provide that? And do you want to, right? And you're going to get your answer. And this is the kind of answer that my guides give for these types of things, because me just telling you yes or no is no service to you whatsoever. But giving you the guidance to help you help yourself and be a more emotionally intelligent and mature person and have healthy communication and relationship will serve you. I don't know if you're going to hear from Richard this weekend, but Richard is my dad's name and he passed away in 2015. And I've gotten so many Richards today. It's so crazy. It means my dad's around me. Well, I hear from my dead husband. Your dead husband is around you all the time, honey. I just lost all of the comments. Where'd they go? And please only ask one free yes or no question. Kyle, will I find love in April? You're going to find love. It feels like later than April, though. Christy, will I pass my certification? Yes. You got to give yourself more credit, girlfriend. Kristen, will my son be okay if I leave my son's father? Absolutely. He's got his own path and what he chose to experience in this life. How do you know that this isn't a part of it? Can you make it a healthy separation, right? Can you not put the child in the middle? Can you do your very best to be the example that you want to set for him? And as long as you have two happy, healthy, loving parents separate, that's going to be way better for the child than two parents that aren't happy, healthy together. So he will be okay. It's always a transition for children. I know I've been married 3 times, so I know what it's like to transition children. It's more about, are you going to be okay? So the more stable you can be with your nervous system and your emotions and your ability to navigate the challenges, not meaning that you have to hide from him or be strong for him or do those things. It's just about being honest about you're struggling, but we're going to work it out. It's all going to be okay, that type of thing. Just when you be honest in a way that a child can understand, it's going to be fine. And you just got to love each other a little harder, you know? If you're already asking if you should let go of somebody, you should let go of them, because that means you already have one foot out the door. There's a contradictory belief there that you have to resolve. One part of you saying we should hold on or let him come back because of X, Y, and Z belief. And so there's a contradictory belief there. Once again, if I'm not answering your question, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's because there is not a clear yes or no, or it's not going to benefit you to know, okay? Where did it go? Beverly Tennyson. My love, I'm sending you so much love and just wrapping you in beautiful pink rays and hoping that you can find peace in your heart, because if you have, and thank you for giving energy to something that doesn't resonate for you and feeding my algorithm. That is such a gift, and I really appreciate you. My nervous system is shot. I'm miserable. I just want to be happy and show my son happiness. I know, sweetheart. And you do that by taking care of yourself. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. So right now what you need is lots of extra love and healing. And happiness is an elusive thing. It's a choice that we make. And no matter what's going on in your life, you can have and make it an adventure of a lifetime. You can show your son that just because something doesn't look as we think it should, doesn't mean it has to be a horrible experience. And so have some grace for yourself, because these transitions are hard. And if you're miserable and your nervous system is shot, you can't take care of that beautiful boy like that, honey. You need to take care of yourself. So you have to make yourself a priority. You got to choose you. You got to love you, okay? Again, I have a free course called Heal, a course in radical forgiveness and self-love. It's an older course. It's like the second or third course I ever created, but I made it free. If that calls to you, try it out. See if it helps. I have a ton of meditations and transmissions on YouTube that are free and on Insight Timer. Find all the resources. If you need extra support, I'm here. You can book a first-time client session. I can help you even deeper. But please know that you're supported and that you're not alone. I was in a stage 3 adrenal fatigue when I left my husband in 2020. I walked away with nothing, with my desk and my clothes. So I'm not just speaking from universal guidance, I'm speaking from experience. And you're going to be okay. You are. You're going to be okay. We are in no contact, his choice, and I'm heartbroken, so I'm not sure if we will have a conversation. Well, I guess time will tell, won't it? Asking about if you're going to have a baby, I consider that a medical question, so I'm not doing medical. I just have not wanted to use my medical mediumship lately. Taking a break. Sadie, will I be working at the same school next year? Yeah, but I do feel like there's a position shift, role shift. I feel like you're going to be doing something a little bit different, or different department or different area. I don't know, different class or grade if you're a teacher. Something's different about it. Same school, but something's different about it. Well, if you don't like my answer about it not being medical, that's fine. Go find someone that will help you. You're just not sure if it's in your future. I'm not even going to go down this road. If I haven't answered your question, please know I'm not ignoring you. I don't have a clear yes or no for you, which means it may not be in your benefit to know the answer. You have to remember, sometimes knowing your future harms you more than it helps you. So because I say no to answering your question, doesn't mean that they're ignoring you, the guides are ignoring you, I'm ignoring you. It's what's best for you. So you can always try a different question. If you have another question and I can try answering that. But if I'm not answering it, you don't need to post the question 10 more times. It's not going to make me answer it. Will Anku, will Dawa and me be friends again? Yes. It's going to be a little bit down the line, though. Love and light back to you, my love. If they wanted to be with you, they would make efforts to be with you, so move on. If they're not reaching out to you, if you're confused in the relationship, if they like you, if they want you, if they're not making the efforts, if you're pining over them, these are all signs that this is not an alignment for you. So stop abandoning yourself, have some respect and love for yourself, choose you, and let them go. Okay? Right there, you're confused. If you're confused, it's not for you. Two things can be true. He can be avoidant and he can love you. And he can want you, but he may not have the capacity to be in a relationship with you because he hasn't done the work. So if you're confused, it's not for you. The person that's meant for you, you will have no confusion. You're very welcome. I know it's frustrating. I know it's frustrating. Also, though, if you're avoidant, if you're calling in someone who's avoidant, you need to look at what areas of your life that you may still be avoidant. It might be a small area, it might be a little thing, but we can never we can never attract someone or attract anything that we don't have a resonant match for inside of us. So it may not be that you're avoidant, but there's something being mirrored back to you in that, okay? Hi, welcome in. Okay, just a reminder, I'm going to be on for probably 15 more minutes. So if you want a mini read where you can ask your guides a specific question and then see what else comes through, those are a minimum $15 donation. This is going to be a last call for those. It is linked in my bio. I prefer Venmo or Cash App. If you've never had a session with me and you'd like 60 minutes, I do offer a first-time client rate on my Quantum Soul sessions. I did bring that feature back. It's more than 50% off my normal hourly rate, so you can check that out. And then I also have a free course called Heal, a course in radical forgiveness and self-love. It's one of my OG original courses. It is also linked in my bio, absolutely free to anybody who feels called to it as a resource to help anyone who's struggling. We'll be able to buy the house on Melba Street. So I'm not getting a clear yes or no, but what I am getting a yes or no on is that you will buy a house. I'm not positive it's going to be on that part. I'm not getting a yes or no, but I am getting a yes that you will buy a house. This ring is turning my finger green. It's not good. Ariana, why would you even want to wait around for that, my love? Come on. Love yourself more, honey. I don't answer cheating questions. I feel like that's not going to serve you for me to answer it. It's what's going to serve you is to sit down and have an honest conversation and letting that person know that whatever words and actions they have been doing, you have been perceiving it through the lens that something is not in alignment. And it feels as if they are seeing someone else, whatever, entertaining someone else. Have a conversation. It doesn't have to be so emotionally charged. I know that's easier said than done. But just sit down and express how you feel. Take ownership. I feel my story in my brain is telling me that there's an affair because of this, this, and this. And I just need you to know that, and let's have a discussion about it, and maybe I can get some reassurance or whatever, and you can trust your intuition as to if they're being truthful with you or not. That answer is going to serve you. Me telling you yes or no if they're cheating is not going to serve you. If he said no and your gut's telling you different, then listen to your gut. Listen to your gut. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's cheating, but he's probably doing something that's not in alignment because your intuition wouldn't be going off otherwise. Do I have Kleenex over here? I do. Yay. Excuse me for blowing my nose. If you're asking me what another person thinks, feels, or what they're going to do, I'm not going to answer those because I don't have permission to read their energy that's not in integrity. Is Steven a good match for me? I feel like there's a lot that can be gained from interaction with him, yes. Will me and my ex-SC get back together? I don't see that in your timeline. Margaret, will my current business path be successful? Yes. They're talking about some type of expectation, so look at your expectations and kind of hold on to those loosely. Will I graduate high school? Yes. You're welcome. Will I be able to start my medical residency this year? Yes. It feels like later in the year though, so I don't know the timings of when you can start things, but it just feels later in the year. Again, if I'm not answering your question, it's not because I'm ignoring you. You're welcome. Sometimes it's not beneficial for you to know your future. Will I do well in my next job? Well, as in you know what you're doing and you're able to handle it? Yes. Really just have some confidence and faith in yourself. You're very welcome. Courtney, will I get this new job? I feel like there's a different job coming for you. That doesn't mean that they won't offer you this position, but I feel like there's a better opportunity for you, Courtney. Will my ex Ryan P ever regret what he did to me? So obviously I can't answer because I don't have permission to read his energy, but I do want to answer the question, which is, what does it matter? I'm going to use the analogy that we've all heard. If a snake bites you, do you chase after the snake and ask him why he bit you? No, you heal and you move on. It really doesn't matter if he regrets it or not. You don't need, do you need him to validate the fact that he hurt you or caused you pain? Do you need him to say that in order for it to be true? Or can you just accept that he hurt you and caused you pain and that you need to heal that wound now? So if you can change your perspective, you can let go of a need for him to see you and validate you. You don't need him to validate you, honey. HADEC97. Are you a demon summoning and fortune telling and soothsaying? Wow, I'm going to send you the utmost love and just wrap you in such beautiful love and light, because that's wild. Number 1. 2, thank you so much for interacting with this live and commenting and helping me to get it out to more people by your comments. That is so nice of you to spend energy and give energy to something that you don't resonate with. So I really appreciate your energy. So kind of you. Should I go to Africa alone this year? Abso-freaking-lutely, and I do want to add something to it. Not only should you, but you're going to go, and I feel like you're going to meet some amazing freaking people out there that become like really good connections and relationships for you. Leah, you absolutely will find your soulmate. Will I find new love soon? Depends on what your definition of soon is. I do see a relationship coming to you towards the end of the year. Thank you for all the gifts. You're welcome, Kim. Gabriella, I'm not going to tap into his energy, honey. Kelly, will I be promoted at work soon? It's possible, but I feel a new opportunity coming for you. So be open to that, because I think it's better suited for you. Will I be alone forever? Absolutely not. You're not even alone right now. You have tons of spirit around you. But physical human form, no, you're not going to be alone forever. You will meet somebody. Start living your life. Don't wait around. Enjoy your life. Chloe, will I get a house soon? Yes, feels like next year. Alicia, if you're already asking that, you already know the question to that answer, honey. So let him go. Fran, will our Florida trip be good? Yes. Go with the flow. Go with the flow, go with the flow, go with the flow. Don't be rigid on schedules, and don't let the small stuff bother you, and it will be an amazing trip. You're very welcome, and enjoy. Florida's beautiful. Hopefully you're going soon and not in the middle of summer like I did. My sweat was sweating. So humid. I know that attachment to him, though, isn't really to him, honey. I want you to have a moment of clarity right here. The reason why we feel that attachment is because it's actually has nothing to do with him. It has to do with what happened to us as a child. So that attachment is coming from an inner child. It's an emotional trigger that's embedded in your nervous system. You want him to choose you. You want him to pick you. You want this, you want that, because you didn't receive it from one or both of your parents in the way that you needed it. So when you can detach him from the feeling and you can see that he is a person that you have put on a pedestal because it has more to do with your childhood wounds, it will make it much easier for you to detach. Again, this is not an easy thing to do. You have to constantly reassure that inner child and love them through it, but remind them this has nothing to do with this person. I'm not actually attached to them. I'm attached to wanting someone to X, Y, and Z. Again, love you, choose you, accept you, any of those things. This is the work, okay? Do you see me getting a new car anytime soon? It's not going to be brand new, but yes, there is going to be a new vehicle, a new to you vehicle coming for you. You're very welcome, Alicia. Again, not easy, trust me. I have to do the work every day myself, honey. Okay, just a reminder, I have a free course that's linked in my bio. It's called Heal, A Course in Radical Forgiveness and Self-Love. If that's something that calls to you, it's one of my OGs. It's got 6 modules, super helpful for anybody who feels they need a little bit of help and they want to utilize that resource. It's there for you. I also brought back my first-time client rate for my 60-minute Quantum Soul sessions. And you can read all about what that is and linked in my bio. It's more than 50% off my normal hourly rate. And it's for first-time clients. So if that's something that calls to you to go deeper into whatever you're struggling to work through, by all means, that option is available for you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap for the day since we don't have any more paid mini reads. I wanted to just come on for as long as I could, just to say hello. I took 2 days off of going live because I've just been really tired, and yesterday I had such a hectic schedule. So I had a little bit of time today. I wanted to show up and be of service. So I hope that these readings served you. I hope you gained some help from them. This will go up on YouTube in the next 48 hours. I do have a TikTok playlist, so feel free to subscribe over there. I have also a ton of free content on YouTube as well that's super beneficial to help you. So as always, thank you to those who trusted me with reading their energy. I am so grateful for all of you, and I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.